This is Scott Spears, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of The Exchange here on WGH Talk. So good to be joined by the 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow. And I do want to remind everybody that next week will be our big Halloween episode because we tape these on Wednesday, and it will actually air on Friday next week, which is Halloween. Are you ready for the big Halloween show, Mary Ellen?
I don't know if I am or not. It's got here so fast.
I know. Now, do you like to wear Halloween-themed things?
Well, I've got this wonderful mask. It's a turtle, but it's so hot. When I wear it, I just can't hardly stand it.
Oh.
It just covers my face so that I can't hardly breathe. So
That's a tough thing.
Yes.
Did you ever wear things like Halloween shirts? You see a lot more of those now. Or Halloween.
No, I never wore an outfit.
You know what I saw last year? Women are wearing these scarves now that are Halloween scarves.
Oh.
It's a whole new thing.
Oh, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, some will have pumpkins and some might have.
Okay.
It might just be orange. You know, a lot of people wear orange that day.
Yeah.
And consider that to be Halloween, which that's Halloween-y.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have the Halloween show next week. We'll talk about Halloween, and that'll be next week here on the program. But this week we've got a lot to talk about because since last week's taping, we've talked about her a lot, and we're going to talk about her tonight because there's a new poll out from Bowling Green that's very interesting. When it comes to the Ohio gubernatorial race, Dr. Amy Acton finally appeared on the program. She was on last Friday, and she was on Tuesday, so this week. And I found her to be interesting. Mary Ellen, you heard one of those interviews. What did you make of Dr. Amy Acton?
I thought she was very nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Polite woman.
Yes.
Likes to talk,
Yeah.
which is good if you're running for office.
That's right.
And apparently she is drawing good crowds all over the state.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Now, here is what the polls say from Bowling Green. Right now they have it 50 to 47, Ramaswamy over Acton, but there's a 4.5 percentage possibility of it being wrong. Margin of error. Mm-hmm. So she's within striking distance here.
Yeah.
How do you think this happened, Mary Ellen, that she gets this close to Ramaswamy?
Well, I don't think he's that popular, to be honest with you. It's his name. I mean, you know, people, I don't know if that affects many people, but I think it would.
Well, it's very interesting. In one of the interviews, I asked Dr. Acton about her relationship with Governor DeWine, and she said she still has a good relationship with him, and she talks to him still.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've always said there is a Mike DeWine part of the Republican Party that might not be all in on Ramaswamy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very true.
So this could be a problem for him as he goes along. Now, this poll also has some other interesting things in it. Acton and Ryan in a Democratic primary, Acton 50%, Tim Ryan 41%.
Really?
As of right now.
As of right now, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course he's not in.
Yeah.
So I assume that would change, but that's good for her at this point.
Yeah.
And then in the Senate race, Sherrod Brown 49%, John Husted 48%. Mm-hmm. So there we are at this point. And again, this poll has a plus or minus margin of error of 4.5%. So Democrats not doing bad in Ohio right now.
No. I'm glad to hear that about Sherrod, too. Yeah.
Now, a lot of reason people feel this might be happening for the Democrats in Ohio. Now, there have been 3 separate polls from Bowling Green this year as far as Trump's approval rating. Now, listen to these polls. In February of this year, he was favorable 6%, which is up. Up 6% in the polls. In April, he had a favorability rating of -1%. Mm-hmm. So he went from +6 to -1 from February to April. Mm-hmm. The October poll, which is the new one out, has him at -10%. Mm-hmm. So he has gone in February from +6, right after he took office, to -10 in October. Not even a year. He has lost 16 points.
It doesn't surprise me.
Well, this is what people feel is causing the surge for the Democrats in the Ohio races.
It's bound to affect it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you think that Ramaswamy particularly, maybe Husted, we don't know, that their popularity is tied to Trump's at this point?
Well, it probably is, yeah. Especially Ramos. Well, yes, both of them. They're tied.
Do you think that there's any chance that Trump can turn these falling numbers around?
Well, he comes in at the last minute and has a speech. But we hope that doesn't happen, and maybe it won't be effective this time. Who knows?
Well, I don't think his poll numbers have ever been this low in Ohio. Will people be happy to see him if he shows up?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
You know what's interesting? Last election cycle, he was... I think they kind of gave up on Ohio, the Harris campaign. So, Trump didn't have to campaign hard here, and he wasn't in office. And so I think he was pretty favorable in Ohio. I think he won it by 11 points, which is certainly what hurt Sherrod Brown in that election. But now, I don't know if he would be popular to bring here if he can't get these poll numbers turned around.
Good point.
And that's where we are on that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of things have been going on, so there's a lot to go through here in this first half hour. The No Kings rallies took place in America this past Saturday. There was one in Marion. About 350 people showed up. But in America, 7 million people showed up on Saturday. It is the largest non-military protest in American history, recent history. What'd you make of that, Mary Ellen?
I thought it was amazing. And I was looking at it on Rachel Maddow. She had a lot of the pictures on there. Huge crowds in the big cities. Huge. Just enormous crowds. And what I think back to is when they had those crowds for Hillary. And I guess these are even bigger than those, I guess. Yeah.
And it's interesting because the Democratic Party's poll numbers as a whole are still not good.
No, the Democratic Party, everybody says it's not good. Yeah.
But the people are certainly coming out against him. What do you think the main problem people have with Trump right now is?
Well, they're suffering. The thing that we're going through with the government being shut down and all the things he's doing. Then he did something that was good. He tried to stop the war in Israel, but then he starts a war in Argentina. I mean, what's the point of that? And it doesn't make sense. And he does this stuff, and everybody's affected by the things that he does.
I think there was a lot of question because of his success in Israel right now. If the protests were going to go as well as they did.
Well, I think there's still a little question about that.
About Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that may be part of the problem. People aren't exactly sure what deal was made and what's happened over there, and is it... I mean, we like that the hostages have been released.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a good part of it, but what deal had to be made to get that done?
Yeah.
We don't know. Well, this is a rough story, but a lot of people are upset about it. And you have been to the White House, Mary Ellen. Part of the White House has been bulldozed.
Oh, I know, it's terrible.
The East Wing.
To look at that beautiful building and what he's done to it.
And Trump did say he would not affect the existing. It would not affect the existing structure.
Oh, the East Wing.
The East Wing is
torn it all up.
Has been.
Oh, I tell you, it's awful.
And that's where the First Lady's quarters and offices have normally been. But
that's where most of the meetings are. Is in the eastern part. I was on the west side, and I was surprised. I thought, well, of course. I suppose he's going to come out in front with the ballroom. I don't know how he's going to do it, but they say, it's not going to look good when it gets done, which is probably true. It's probably going to be gold. Yeah.
Well, that's part of... a lot of people have said that the White House did need a bigger room.
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
I was at the 200... I listened to that crap.
You've heard that.
Yes.
Okay.
I was at the 200-year celebration dinner. They had plenty of room. But anyway, I mean, how big a crowd are they going to have?
I think what they've said, and I didn't say it, but I think what they've said is that the biggest room in the White House only seats 250.
That's probably right.
But they want a room that can be mammoth and have 1,000 people.
Why?
I don't know. Because they do that in other countries, I guess.
Why do they need 1,000 people in the White House? You can't hardly get in to see it anymore. They don't even have it open. I mean, has it been open since?
You feel strongly about this. You took a
do.
shot at our pumpkin, Mary Ellen. I didn't know.
I know. I'm
glad we put this here this week.
I look at that White House, and it was a beautiful building. It was built by people that were slaves. And he's tearing it down, you know?
Well, it is very hard to see those pictures of the White House being bulldozed, part of it essentially. And that's where a lot of first ladies have been.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But I did see today that the construction company doing this is now getting a lot of flack.
Good for them.
Yeah, people are coming at them. They don't want to see the White House.
I'm glad because it's a sad story. And now he wants $230 million from the American people to pay for it.
Well, now that's another interesting thing. Here's another story. So as things go,
okay.
Trump said that no public money would be spent on this ballroom, $230 million. But now he's saying that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, should pay him $230 for all the investigations they put him through. Now, wouldn't you know it, $230 million happens to be the price of this ballroom.
It's amazing.
What a coincidence that would happen.
Yes.
And who makes the decision on that? Trump and the lawyers who defended him in those lawsuits. So there goes your tax dollars toward the ballroom at the White House. Do people care? I mean, I
care. And I tell you, it drives you nuts when you think about he's spending money like it's out of style, and we're in a mess. We have the government shut down. People aren't being paid, but he's being paid. He wants to be paid and paid and paid. I
mean, he's not even trying to be sneaky about this.
No.
I mean, it's the exact number that the ballroom will cost. And where did all the private money for the ballroom go?
Yeah, that's another, probably to him.
I don't understand. I can't imagine any president ever getting away with this.
No, nobody would have ever thought of even trying to do this.
Well, where else can we go? I mean, last year at this time, we were just about to have the election. Everybody was saying if he gets back in, there's going to be a dictatorship possibly, and things are going to happen that have never happened before. Well, we certainly can say things are happening that have never happened before.
That's right.
Who would have thought part of the White House would be demolished, or $230 million would be going for a ballroom, or the press would be trying to be forced to sign these policies that nobody will sign. I mean, it's people being prosecuted at the president's whim.
Yes. How's Comey? How's that coming out?
I don't think they've went to trial, but he certainly has been indicted.
He's fighting back. What did he do? Fight back with what?
Well,
he did something.
Well, he said he knew this was coming.
Yeah, but he's charged Trump with something now.
Oh, has he?
Yes.
Well,
I can't remember exactly what it was, but
the only thing between us and some serious trouble right now is the court system.
Yeah. We got to have the courts doing their duty and their job. I don't know that they all are.
Where is the Congress? Where?
Yes, they can't find them. They're
and
not
the Senate.
Yes.
You know, these approval rating numbers cannot make them comfortable. You would think.
Well, you'd think it would affect them, but I don't know anything is affecting anybody.
You know, I don't know. I mean, is he still popular? Is Trump still popular in the country? I mean, the numbers I see show him underwater. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's well below 50%.
Yeah, isn't he in the 30s?
I think it's getting close to most of them I've seen are low 40s, but he certainly would be getting close to the 30s. I mean, at what point, if Congress should lose their power, do you think that will make the Republican Party turn on him?
I wonder what would make for instance, the senators or the congressmen that are lying for him, what would make them turn. And I have always said, if they all stood together and did what was right, he wouldn't have any support. And if they do that, and they're afraid to do it because they're afraid they'll lose the next election, and some of them should lose the next election. Grassley or Greeley, what's his name?
Grassley.
Grassley, yeah. Grassley, who was there when I was there, yeah.
I think he's over 90 now, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Still going to work.
Yes, and he shouldn't be. He should be retired.
At this point, why in the world does he still want to be there?
That's right. I mean, there is a point where you should say this is enough, you know.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. Now, Mike Johnson, our Speaker of the House, before the protest last week, went on television and he called the No Kings rallies Hate America rallies.
Yeah.
That didn't go over very well
around
the country. What do you make of him? You know,
Oh, I think he's horrible.
You know, and in the beginning, some people thought he was going to be okay. He made some deals.
But he's so such a Trump person. I mean, he's doing everything Trump wants.
You know, what do you think the appeal is of Donald Trump at this point? I mean, in the beginning...
Well, it's what he threatens him with. He's got all this power because he's placed people in certain positions, and he's got all this power. And he got away with all of it.
Do you think there is a line too far for somebody?
Oh, yes, he's there.
Well, but do you think there'll be a line too far for the Republicans where they say...
You'd have thought they would. I mean, you'd think they'd know what they're doing to the democracy, but they don't seem to care.
Does this all have to do with winning? Is that really where this is all starting and ending?
Probably with them winning their next election is probably where it's at.
I tell you, it's. I don't know what people are going to say about this time in history, but
it's going to be pretty bad.
It's very interesting to live through it.
Yeah.
But what did you make of the leaks that have exposed young Republicans' racist chats?
Oh, yeah.
And our Vice President, J.D. Vance, said kids do stupid things. Young boys, they tell edgy, offensive jokes.
And then one of them was 44 years old or something. Yeah, they weren't
not
all
exactly
boys.
Kids.
Yeah.
Why would the Vice President respond to something?
Well, he's just as bad as Trump. I can't imagine what he'd be like as president.
I just thought when that list came out that most people would condemn it. Congress people did condemn it. Republican Congress people did condemn it. And now a lot of people are saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll tell you, she's out there calling the Republicans everything possible. And
she's doing great.
Of all people, you would have... Well, Bernie Sanders has even given her praise.
Yes.
I find that fascinating.
Yes. The View even praised her.
The View praised... Well, there you go. And those ladies aren't normally in favor of praising Marjorie Taylor Greene. But yeah, she's out there. She called the Republican men weak. She says they need to do something and solve this problem.
Yeah.
But we've yet to see it. And here we are in, what day is this? 22 days into the government shutdown?
Yeah.
Nobody even talks about it.
Nope. Well, they're still talking, but they're not saying much.
And now we hear that people possibly are going to lose their food incentive, their food card in November because of the government shutdown. I mean, did people ever think this would be where we are?
Evidently, they didn't listen when Trump was talking about running for office. You know, he said a lot of this when he was running. And people didn't realize... I think the worst thing he's doing is dragging people in off the street and sending them to other countries. To me, that's the worst thing he's doing.
Well, and a lot of people at the No Kings protest were certainly upset about that.
Yeah, were they?
Yeah, well, I heard a lot of people say, people aren't getting habeas corpus and people are not being charged with things. But you know what's when we put up a post about the protest, it gets more views, likes, dislikes. There's more talk about those comments than any other post we do. And
Really?
I wonder what drives that. Now, there are some people who just want to argue about it, but there's something about those posts about those protests. And it seems to me that the Trump people who support him, they must be frightened, because why are they even paying attention to what's going on there? If it was a big nothing, as they say, well, then who cares?
Yeah.
But they seem to get awful offensive about those protests.
Well, he's doing horrible things to people. I mean, to be having your people arrested when he doesn't like them, I mean, that's terrible.
I think the thought in the country is that we had branches of government that would prevent that.
And it didn't.
And, well, and, you know, maybe this is what they always said, that a democracy is a fragile thing.
Yeah, you know, I had always thought that the three different parts of the government would protect each other. And boy, that's not happening now.
No, it certainly has went out the window, and where it all goes, I don't know. Now, there's one more story I want to cover here, political, this week. It's about the Ashland County Democrats. Now, this story came out earlier in the year, but it's now a little different. Let's get this right here. The Ashland County Democratic Committee has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit alleging its members were unconstitutionally expelled from the 2025 Ashland County Fair for displaying political buttons critical of President Donald Trump. This controversy dates back to September, when the Ashland County Fair Board says it ordered the Democrats to leave after being made aware of offensive buttons in the Democrat booth. That's their quote. Pictures later showed buttons being sold that referred to Trump as a fascist, felon, and traitor, among other things, while some also included the numerical phrase 8647, which means get rid of Donald Trump. The Democratic Party has been asked to pack their booth up for this year, and they will not be here for the remainder of our fair week, the fair board said at the time. This is not political, we just can't have this at our county fair. According to the complaint, the Democrats paid for the booth space, followed all published fair rules, and even removed 2 buttons after officials objected. Despite that, fair board members and sheriff's deputies allegedly forced the group to leave midway through the fair, claiming the booth violated an unwritten family-friendly standard. The lawsuit also accuses the sheriff over there, Schneider, of making false claims, a false referral to the U.S. Secret Service, characterizing the committee as a potential threat based solely on protected political speech. The Constitution doesn't stop at the fairground gate, is basically what they're saying. So the buttons basically said 8647, fascism, felon, and there was one that said, is he dead yet, with a question mark. Now, at the time, I thought, well, that's probably not a good thing to say. But now their, I think, argument about that is that he's the oldest president ever elected. And what they meant was, you know, age-wise, is he dead yet? It's not a nice thing to say, but it wasn't kill him, which is what I think the Fair Board was alleging. And apparently they did take down a couple buttons when they were asked to, and yet they were still kicked out.
Yeah.
So now they're suing.
Yeah, well.
Well, you know why I bring this up, Mary Ellen? Because we went to the fair this past year here in Marion, and apparently the Democrats were having trouble at the fair here in Marion.
They were. I was just thinking about that, and I didn't know if you were going to mention that or not.
Well, I thought
that they were telling us that they weren't treated well. And my question is, I wonder who took that thing of Donald Trump that they stole from the Republican Party. I'd like to know who's got it.
Yeah, several years they had that big Republican cutout of Trump, and so
right.
I still wonder, was it somebody who wanted it, or was it somebody playing a joke?
I know, we don't know what
we
it
don't
was.
know.
Yeah.
That with the dog collar have all. Oh, and here I want to make sure we get this story in as well. How about what happened at the Louvre?
Oh my gosh!
The Louvre was
those
robbed.
Beautiful. those beautiful jewels.
Well, it was robbed at 9:30 a.m. in the morning with a ladder.
Talk about a dog collar, and then
just
we go to the Louvre.
Well, that's what they did at the Harding home.
Yeah,
they
I
put
know.
a ladder on the
I
side.
know.
They did it at the Louvre.
Yeah.
And they took priceless royal jewelry, and they don't know if it's a man, if it's a woman. They don't know who stole this.
No.
And they're still on the go.
And in what was it, 4 minutes?
How quick they got in and got out.
Yes.
But no security apparently.
Well, they were on the second floor, and
Oh.
I mean, did any bells go off or anything?
Apparently not. They could just go right in the... You could back a truck up with a ladder at 9:30 in the morning and go right in.
Well, I tell you, they got some beautiful things. I saw those earrings. I really liked the earrings.
They had the nice royal jewelry there.
Yes, they did.
But you know, I wonder, I mean, do the Louvre doesn't have high-tech security?
I don't know. It's hard to get in. I know that.
Yeah. I mean,
I've been there. Yeah.
Famous.
Yeah.
Would you have ever guessed that it didn't have security?
No, I know we stood in a long line to get in.
Yeah.
And I saw one of my friends it was a friend of George Casotis. Yelled at me in line when I was over there in line for the Louvre. Yes, which I thought was pretty amazing.
People are everywhere.
Yeah.
People are everywhere.
Right.
But it shocked me that the Louvre was robbed the same way that the Harding home was robbed.
Yeah.
We may never see the dog collar.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It may turn up just like the one up on top of the courthouse did.
Well, it took 30 years for Lady Justice to come back.
Yeah.
We're only at about 15 for the dog collar, so it might take another 15 years before we see that again. But, the strangest thing that would be like that way in broad daylight.
Well, think that what it's worth, though, now with gold.
Well, yeah.
I got a ring made a little bit bigger. My gosh, it was expensive.
Yeah. The price is pretty good for gold right now.
Yes, it is.
And
silver's gone up, too.
Yeah. Well, and the pennies have started to go away.
Yep. They had an article about Kroger's on the news.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Oh.
They showed pennies. They said, if you're going to pay in cash, you gotta have your pennies.
Now, it's interesting because we wondered how people were going to do this. I went to a restaurant the other day. I think it was last Friday. And their deal is that if they're going to round you to the closest nickel.
Yeah, that's what they always said, but it's going to go up, not going to go down.
Right. Well, now
they said it was the closest, huh?
Yeah. What the way this place's sign was that if it was 3 cents or more, they would take you. They're going to round you up.
Yes.
But if
it's
less, they'll round you down.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That isn't what they told me when I was U.S. Treasurer.
Well,
they said they'll round it up.
Well, I can almost guarantee that the price of all food will be coming to a place where we can round you up.
Right.
3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, right.
Nothing's going to end with a 1 or a 2 because
That's right.
that people would take a hit on that. It's interesting, but that's the way it goes. And the rest of this episode is going to be interesting because we're going to be joined by Matt Morgan, and we're also going to be joined by a man who recently directed and starred in a movie, Thy Will Be Done, Jazz Securo lives right here in Marion. We're going to hear his whole story. Mary Ellen hasn't met him. He's been on my radio show one time. It'll be good to have him in here again. He's also a ring announcer for the MMA. MMA, Mixed Martial Arts. The big things that they have on television. He does all kinds of things. He's had a great award-winning career, and he lives here in Marion, and he's in this movie, Thy Will Be Done. So we're going to have Jazz Securo with us here, and Matt Morgan join us after this short but important break. Don't you dare go anywhere. This is Scott Spears for WGH Radio, and we just had a delicious pizza here at the Berwick in Greencamp, Ohio. You've got to come here and have some pizza. And guess what? I used to work in the bank that is connected to the Berwick where you can sit and eat. Look at this bank. I used to work here many, many years ago. It hasn't changed very much since I've worked here. What a way to come back into nostalgia here in Greencamp, Ohio, and take in this great bank. And one of the great things you can do here is eat in the vault. Can you imagine that? We're going to go in this vault and see what's in here. Now, here's the thing. This vault has been shut for many, many years. And before I came, I happened to remember the combination. This vault has been shut for years. What are we going to find in here after all these years? Come with me. Let's see what's in the vault here in Greencamp, Ohio. My goodness gracious. Here's the vault. Well, holy mackerel. Mary Ellen Withrow, what are you doing in the vault?
I'm just sitting here waiting on money to come in.
Hey, Scott Spears back with you here on The Exchange, joined by Matt Morgan, the 40th President of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, and so glad to be joined by a gentleman who I've had on the radio program. He lives right here in Marion, Ohio. He's an award-winning announcer and actor in the new film, also directed the new film, Thy Will Be Done, which you can get in a lot of places. We're going to tell you all about that. What a pleasure it is to welcome to the program, Jazz Securo. Jazz, so good to have you here.
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate being here. Anytime anyone takes an interest in me or what I'm doing, I never take it for granted, and I really appreciate being here.
Jazz, tell us how people can find Thy Will Be Done.
Thy Will Be Done is streaming. It's been live for a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and you can find it. The number one platform right now is Amazon Prime. We're also available on Google Play, and just recently, within the last 48 hours, we're live on YouTube as pay-per-view.
Oh.
So it's a streaming service like when you rent and buy. It's available on YouTube as well now.
Now, tell us about the film.
Okay, the film was primarily shot in Marion and with some pickup shots in Delaware, and I'm very proud of that. It is a psychological thriller, and it follows a detective. Young actress Callie Bustle does a wonderful job. She plays Stephanie Bennett, who is a detective living in her father's shadow. She also has a gift of clairvoyance, and her gift brings her closer to the cases that she's on. So it begins this exchange of good versus evil. It has Courtney Gaines, who folks would know as Malachi from Children of the Corn. He was also in Back to the Future. It also stars Doug Bradley, who horror film fans will recognize as Pinhead from Hellraiser. And it also has my buddy, Mr. Kurt Angle. He is an Olympic gold medalist and also a WWE superstar. And he also, an interesting fact about Kurt Angle people don't know, he won an Olympic gold medal in wrestling and his neck was broken. I always like to mention he did a great job in the film, and people are really taking to it and they like it. So that's.
Now, Jazz, most people want to know, how did this filming go on in Marion of a big budget production like this, and nobody really knew it was going on at the time?
Well, I like the landscape of Marion, and I've been in Marion for quite a while, and it's always been in the back of my mind. I said, this is a great place for a film, a feature film. It just shoots well, and there's history here. It really has. It just appealed to me. It spoke to me. Now, I did get some pushback on that. The first responses I received was, well, you're not going to get the support in Marion that you need. And I had been here a while, and I said, well, I went out on a limb a few times and went with my instinct. And I'm happy to say that I was right. And the shots are beautiful, the locations that we have, and Delaware as well. And I had a lot of support with local businesses, the police department, churches. Everybody just came together. And I always say this, please support the film. Rent the movie, buy the movie. And not for me, but good people came together in Marion to do something good. And it turned out really good. So I'm very proud of that. I like that we shot, most of it here in Marion, and it was all instinctual, and it worked out.
When was that?
Man, that timeline. We shot the film. The film from concept to now has been over 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So I would say we filmed in over the summer of 2023.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago.
If you're
Yes,
close,
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
not having the luxury of a big Hollywood studio and editors, I have to put this stuff together. So, and to do it on a certain level, it takes it takes time. So rather than shooting, to get the actors, and rather than shooting everything in 4 to 6 weeks, we went over the course of the summer. Of that summer, and also bled into some pickup shots in September and October because you missed some things. And then editing is a year. I mean, it took me longer to do because I didn't have the team or the resources to do it. And it could have been done. It could have been done sooner and faster, but I would have compromised. I don't think we would have gotten the response that we're getting. And I'm not that kind of person. I want it to be a certain way and reach a certain level, and I think we accomplished that here.
Now, Jazz, this was filmed in Marion, but you are not from Marion, but you live in Marion. So we talked about this on the radio, but it's worth saying again. How did you get to Marion, and why have you chosen Marion to be the place you live?
Well, I was born in New Orleans, thus the name Jazz, which is not an uncommon name in that part of the country. I was raised my formative years in West Virginia, different parts of West Virginia until I was a young adult. At that particular time, my brother was in Central Ohio, the Columbus area, and that's how I initially got to this area. And this was, we're talking mid-90s. It's quite a while ago. And I ended up in the Delaware area for quite some time. It's almost 20 years. And about 8 years ago, my life changed, and I knew people from the Marion area, and I'd come visit this area frequently, holidays, at least a couple times, and I just liked it. I know this might sound weird. I don't know if anybody's ever said it, but Marion reminds me of places that I grew up in West Virginia, and people ask me. I always had it there. And when my life was changing and I was looking to relocate, that was in my. I looked at Caledonia, I looked at Ostrander and Bucyrus, and Marion was in that where I was checking, where I wanted to be. And this was eight years ago now, almost exactly 8 years ago. And like I said on the radio show when we talk about it, I can relate to the people here. I hope that they relate to me. I can breathe here. I find it to be comfortable, And when my work does require that I travel, so it's a little bit of a drive to Columbus to get on, to the airport and everything. But it works for me. And then that life. Columbus is different. So that 55-minute drive up here puts me, I always say, I work in all different places in the world, but I choose to do my living in Ohio.
Well, it's interesting because Mary Ellen, obviously you went to D.C., Washington, D.C. in 94 and lived in Bethesda until 2012. And then...
No, 2000 and... Well, it was closer to 2020.
2020? So somewhere in there.
It's somewhere.
Somewhere in there.
We left. We left when Norman was starting to get not doing well. Yeah.
And you came back to Marion, where you were born.
Well, my family was here.
Your family's here.
Yeah.
And you've been back over 10 years now.
Yeah.
So what is it like to be back at? Why Marion of all the places you could have went?
I'll tell you, Marion had changed. When I left, there was just a few banks, and when I came back, there were a lot of banks. And also, everybody was dressing differently. They were in pajamas at Kroger's. And
well, that's true. The dress code went down.
I was kind of surprised. Yes.
Yeah, the dress code had changed.
Yeah, but I like Marion too.
Yeah.
But I never lived in Marion until now. I do live in Marion now at a retirement place, but I always lived in the country.
So what you are in the city now?
Yeah.
What has this period of your life been like?
Well, it's been relaxing.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah, I've enjoyed my time back.
Now, what do you think of a movie being made here like this?
I'm amazed, and I want to see that movie because you said there's clairvoyance.
Mm-hmm.
I like clairvoyance.
Yeah.
It's
it's intriguing, right?
I like psychics. Yeah.
See, that's kind of a Halloween movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It's horror month. The movie is not horror, but she has visions.
Mm-hmm.
The main character has visions of the crime scenes, and that brings her closer to the cases. So
Yeah. Right.
it turned out to be more suspense thriller,
Mm-hmm.
but it has some scary elements. But honestly, when I'm asked now, they ask me, I really intended it to be, I don't know, is it scarier or more scary? I intended it to be a more scary than it is, and it just, first time film, it just didn't end up that way. But
Now, you act in the movie, Jazz. What's your part?
I am the priest, the padre, Father Arland Anthony. I am a mentor of sorts to our lead actor, and her father, who she is kind of living in the shadow of, was a 5-star detective, and she's kind of trying to find her footing as a detective, but she's in the shadow. Her father is like royalty, so she confides in her family priest, and also her father's partner, who's still alive. So I play that role. I'm the head of the church, and it seemed to be a good fit in casting.
What has the response been from people who have seen the movie?
Thank you for asking that. That is my money. That is the payment for me. I am just so. I have been walking on every single day, especially for the last couple weeks, 3 weeks it's been out, because you don't really know when you do this. You're married to this project, and you go, well, that's good. And you have a small circle of people, and they say it's really good, but you don't know until you put it out for the world. And I look at myself as a very I pray for objectivity every day, and I think I'm a very objective person. And I knew that it was solid, but what has been happening with the response is just, I get choked up. It's amazing because I'm finding critics like to review films in the wee hours of the night. I'll get the response at midnight and 1 a.m. And like I said, it's been very recent, and I just can't. Viewers like the film, and the verdict is in. I don't want to sound any kind of way, but the viewers like the film. I've gotten in England, all over the world, and critics are liking the film. I don't mean to ramble, but Chael Sonnen is a UFC veteran, and he is known not only for his wildly successful career. He is just one of the more, I consider, brilliant minds in our country. I really do. He has his podcast with Daniel Cormier, and speaking with him, there's people when they reach a level of intelligence that it hurts my head when I'm around him. Well, he agreed to review the film recently. Very recently, a couple days. And he texted me the other day and said, I'm watching the film today. And I was so nervous and he said, listen, I respect you enough to tell you the truth. And I said, okay. And he's that guy. I'm not, if you're not familiar with him, he's brutal. He really is. He's not going to pull any punches. He's not going to say anything. That's what he is. That's his entity. That's what he's famous for. So I was nervous. I told the crew and the team, I said, look, it's going to be harsh. And to wrap this story up, he was over the moon. I could not have asked. He was just so complimentary. He was thoroughly impressed and congratulated me and called me and was just elated. I mean, it's an amazing review, and for that to come from him, and I like I said, I appreciate every moment when somebody takes 93 minutes to watch the film that I create. I could not. My heart just skips a beat, and I love it. But when someone like that, who I know is not going to tell me what I want to hear, and is famous for being, literally famous for being bottom line, and to just give it to me like that, it's been overwhelming. And the response to me, money is one thing, but the money was not the motivation for this film. It's something I wanted to do, and that the response that I've been getting is more payment than I ever could have dreamt of.
I can't imagine the feeling that you would have waiting to hear what people think of your movie.
Well, not a lot of sleep, especially when somebody that you respect is about to watch it, and they have a certain level that they're on, and you're like, oh, he's going to tear me up.
Yeah.
Mary Ellen, when you were in Washington and in the 90s redesigning the money, and this had to be introduced at different places, the State Quarters program, which happened under you, great picture of you in New York in front of Radio City, introducing one of those quarters, and then some other things that you did throughout your career. What's it like when you first give it to the public and you give it to the newspapers and the media comes? Did you think about it in those days and thought, well, I wonder what they're going to say the next day?
Oh, yes, and believe me, they said it looked like play money. They didn't like it. I thought it was gorgeous.
Now, when they would say things like play money, how did you take that?
Oh, I thought they'll get over it, and they did.
And they did. We all use it now.
But I got to tell you, you were correct. It was 14 years.
Was it 14? I had the year right.
You were right. Yes.
Okay. So it was 2012.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard to put something up in front of somebody and then have people review it, because people, I think, tend to be critical. I mean, they're called critics.
Well, and we put a lot more things in the money to make it more safe, and that was the whole purpose, because it was counterfeited more, and when it reached a point, they decided to change the money.
Now, Mary Ellen, also, you've done things. I mean, you sang, you played the piano, you painted, did artwork. Were you, when you first showed somebody your artwork, or you played a piece for them on the piano, how did you feel when they told you what they thought? Or did it just matter to you? Did you just thought, I like it? Oh,
yeah, it mattered a lot. Yeah. You want people to enjoy what you're doing, and in anything. I mean, any of those things you mentioned, you want people to like it. Yeah.
Did you ever think of getting involved, I mean, with that background, painting and music and instruments, did you ever think of getting into any kind of theatrical business?
Well, I was, when I was in high school. I was in the club for, whatever, I can't remember.
Like the drama club?
Yeah. I don't remember what they called it. But, I enjoy making things that I think people will enjoy. And I'm sure that's how you feel, too. You want to make things that people will enjoy.
Well, I was just thinking about the commercials that you have made since you've left office. Because those went out to a lot of people. And, I bet they're very, and you were probably very, you wanted it a certain way.
Yes.
Say certain things, look a certain way.
Yeah, right. I was upset with this one guy running for state treasurer was my one thing that I had a problem with.
And you delivered a good line.
Yes.
You delivered a good line. But and his career hasn't went so well since then.
I don't know where he is.
No, he's disappeared.
He's getting a divorce.
Is he?
Well, that's what somebody told me.
So not only is he out of office, but his personal life went down the tubes. The whole career.
Well, he put his children in his ads, and I don't like that. When they put their family in the ads, they should not have their family in the political ads, because I don't think it's right.
When you saw the ad, now this is recent times that you did against him, which has been probably in the last 10 or 15 years. Do you remember the line that you said about him?
I know it was kind of a difficult line.
It was.
What was it?
It was something. You were ashamed of him.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and that's what you say in the ad. And this became quite a political ad of that season.
Yeah.
Because here's a former treasurer of the United States.
I did. I said I was ashamed of him.
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah. And you said his name. I'm ashamed of you.
Yeah.
And that ad got a lot of traction. People paid attention to that ad. When you first saw it, did you say that's okay, or did you think maybe that's a little tough?
I did. At first, I thought, I don't know if I said that's true. I'm ashamed of him. So
let's let it rip.
Do it.
Okay. Well, now, Jazz, can you relate to that? That's interesting, I think.
Well, I don't know if I can relate to it or not.
Have you ever ripped something out there and thought, well, I don't know if I should have said that. I don't know if I should have done that.
Well, the one thing I see people in when they're being focused on, and when I get in those situations, I try to go, well, how do you want to be? Are you going to try to be cool? And I know that altering what you really are and how you are and how you is the wrong thing to do, because people see through it. And opinions, people like this, people like that. It's hard to get to the bottom, especially with who you are and with what you're doing. I would like to ask you how, he mentioned your piano and singing, and you mentioned film. What is your position or opinion on today's artificial intelligence input, that, the AI that can literally create, compositions and films and in seconds? Like, I
don't understand it, but I had a birthday party, and the AI did the report on the birthday party, and there was not one mistake about everybody that was there. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
That changed my thinking.
Especially when the eras that she has, the decades and the era into now, I can't wrap my head around, having been through these times in our country and growing up. You've seen so much, and now you see something that can literally take the skill and the talent, and that's my concern, is when something can instantly create something that was part of the gift, the talent of the person instantly, will it have value?
Yeah.
That's my big concern.
I don't know how it operates. That girl.
I don't think anybody does.
That name that was on the article, she was not there, was she?
No, and that's what these are AI reporters, and I think it's very interesting that the newspaper will even say this is an AI reporter. And there was nobody there that I'm aware of who was with the local newspaper.
Yeah, well, you would have known.
I think I would have seen them.
Yeah.
But yet they had the names right. They had the quotes right. They had the whole setup. There was nothing incorrect about the article. And I don't know where that's pulled from. I really don't understand the whole AI thing. I get what it is, but I don't understand how that all comes to be and why there isn't a worry about it being wrong. Because if you're not there, how do you know what you're putting out there is right? Yeah. It's very strange. And now we're hearing actors have agents who are AI actors. I don't understand that.
Tilly Norwood.
Yeah, how is that a thing?
I can't. AI is something. AI today is very different than it was 3 months ago. That's the weird part. People think, well, this is coming to 10, 20 years. This is changes by the week.
Yeah.
What AI is doing right now, it was not doing 3 months ago.
That's right.
On the level that it is. So that's, like I said, how does anything have value? A painting or a song or lyrics or a movie or actors or anything, when it can be, that's my concern, in just 3 months from now or 6 or 18 months from now. That's, how does it hold a value if any run-of-the-mill 9-year-old can do it in 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Though, I was having a conversation with somebody recently about AI, and they were worried about it taking all the jobs and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And some of the jobs, I'm sure it will take. But I don't know how it can take all the jobs or a majority of the jobs, because, let's say it takes 70% of the jobs. Well, that means 70% of the people are going to be out of work and are not going to make any money. So even if they're doing a job that produces a product that you want, you're not going to have the money to buy the product. So it's going to be sort of useless. I don't think it'll work that way. I think it'll be used here and there, but I can't imagine it being a complete takeover because products would be useless.
Well, I tell you, I never expected my birthday party to be reported by AI.
By AI. I know. It goes all around, doesn't
right,
it? Well, Matt, you haven't got a chance to speak yet in this episode, so let's bring you in. What do you think of AI and where it's headed, where it's going? AI reporters, AI actors?
Well, I think there are a lot of jobs that AI just isn't going to be able to do, because AI, it doesn't have, it's not a physical thing. It's a computer. We will probably at some point run into a thing where like news reports are AI, and the newspaper's already AI apparently. I know there's a lot of content creation in general that goes on with AI, like Jazz was saying. But it is kind of interesting, though, because AI doesn't have the capabilities to actually be creative. You have to, prompt it, and then it pulls a whole bunch of different elements from things that already exist on the internet and then slaps it all into one picture, and it basically just tries to give you what you ask for. It doesn't really know what it's doing.
Though, it kind of reminds me, because people were saying the same thing. When I first got into broadcasting, FM radio was the king. FM radio was the way it went. It was music radio. You didn't have to buy the CD in those days, or the record, because you could hear the songs on the radio, and that's why it was more listened to than talk radio, and it was always going to be that way, and the DJs were great, and they came in and did their little seconds here and there, and that was radio. But who would have ever thought the evolution of the internet would kill FM music radio, which it has. Music radio is no longer the most listened to type of radio. Talk radio is, because now talk radio is more creative. You can't get the local host on Google or YouTube unless they put the content there, but you can certainly get Taylor Swift's latest song on YouTube or Spotify or whatever it is. So it went backwards, and they always thought that the new forms, that newspapers would always be around. And because of the internet, newspapers were more hurt than television and radio was. Newspapers are at an all-time low. Not that it hasn't taken its toll on television and radio, but newspapers were the hardest hit. So I don't know. I kind of think AI will go that way. It'll go after a certain group of things. I think it'll probably be more white-collar jobs. The banking industry, I think, is probably in trouble here because it can.
You think it'll affect the banking?
I think there'll be fewer jobs. I don't think you'll need tellers anymore.
I don't know. I think handing over jobs like that to robots is not. I just kind of I don't know if anybody's ever seen iRobot, but I do have a very real fear of. But I think there'll be people there. But instead of having a bank that has 30 employees, you'll have 5 or 10 that'll oversee it.
I want to say this, in all due respect to everyone. I think AI, and I don't mean to sound like Mr. iRobot, I think there is nothing that it can't do and will do.
I agree, 100%.
I think that everything in our society, every aspect of work you can think of, every position you can think of, and every aspect of life, we didn't know what AI was, like a year and a half or 2.5 years, something like that? What is happening with this growth and what it does, if you pay attention to it? In my opinion, I don't think there's any limit to it. I think we're going to be greatly affected to it. And dare I say, we haven't yet, I hate to even say it, but we haven't yet seen what happens when the bad guys get it. You know,
that's
when bad guys
scary.
use it for bad things.
Yes.
And then what happens is we have to put together quick regulation. So I don't mean to, you know, I don't want to be Mr. Apocalyptic guy.
No, it could be. You never know. But we're going to take a break here in about 30 seconds, and we're going to come back. We've got another segment today. But it's interesting to me. I was just reading a story today where I think his name is Alan Hamill, but Suzanne Summers' widow now has an AI Suzanne Summers 2 years after she died. Now, see, I think we all look at that and go, ooh. And I think that's not going to ever be okay. But we you know what isn't okay is if we stay here, because we got to take a break. And we're going to come back and finish up this episode right after this. Don't go anywhere. Hey, Scott Spears here with 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, and Terry Tackett. As you can see, we are in the vault here at the Berwick in Greencamp, Ohio. Delicious, delicious pizza place. And the pizza has arrived. Pan down on that. Look at that delicious pizza there. Mary Ellen, we're sitting in the vault and we're about to have this pizza. How good does this pizza look?
Oh, it looks great.
Terry, what do you think?
It looks awesome.
Now, did you get the chandelier here? This is what, did you ever see any, Mary Ellen, all the vaults you've been in, did you ever see a chandelier like that in the vault?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
We're going to try this pizza and come back and tell you what it was like here on WGH Talk. Hey, Scott Spears with Terry Tackett, 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow. We're at the Berwick here in Greencamp, Ohio. The pizza was delicious. Terry, how was the pizza?
It was great.
Mary Ellen, how was the pizza?
I really liked it.
Worth $1 million to be sure. You'll enjoy it. Come over and eat in the vault. Hey, Scott Spears back with you here, and we've got Matt Morgan, 40th Treasurer of the United States, Mary Ellen Withrow, an award-winning announcer and actor, and one of the stars, and director, by the way, of the new film, Thy Will Be Done, Jazz Securo. So glad to have him here, and you can get that on Prime and YouTube. What do they, is it YouTube Movie? Is that what they call it?
YouTube TV?
YouTube TV?
I'm not sure. I have the link.
You search it, and it'll come up.
Yes, on YouTube it comes up, and it's a pay-per-view. Like most of the things on YouTube are free,
Right.
but it's early on, and like I said when we talked about it, independent film tends to migrate onto many platforms. So I'm literally getting one every few days, and that's a new one on YouTube. I think it's YouTube Movies. YouTube Movies.
YouTube Movies.
Yes.
So for all of us here in Marion, it's important, but anybody who's seeing this, Thy Will Be Done. Shot here in Marion, and Jazz lives here in Marion, and that is a great, great accomplishment, certainly, to get that done, especially with the big stars like that and the big production. Now, we've got a few subjects we're going to hit this week before we run out of time. Shonda Rhimes says women have a hard time bragging, and men do not. That it's harder for women to brag about what they do, and men have no problem. Matter of fact, they say, I think there's a statistic that says women are 100% qualified for the jobs they apply for, but that number is not that high for men, that they'll read the qualifications and they'll still apply, knowing that they don't have the qualifications. So I'm going to go start with the one woman on the panel. Mary Ellen, you certainly have went far in your career without question, pioneer in so many ways. Do you think it's harder for women to brag than men?
Yes, I do, but I think we're getting better at it. I think women have improved quite a bit over the years. You know, they've gotten a lot more nerve to do things than they. When I started out, women were very shy. Yeah, I was very shy.
You know what's interesting? I was talking with Dr. Amy Acton yesterday. We had an interview with her, the Democratic candidate running for governor here in Ohio. And I said that to her. I asked her that. I said, if you won, you would be the first female governor of Ohio. We have not had a female president of the United States. We haven't had a female mayor of Marion, Ohio in 250 years of this country. And that rang a bell with her. I haven't heard her talk a whole lot about that, and she did talk a little bit about that, and talked about other states that have had female governors, and talked about people who have run in the past. Is that about bragging? Is that about being out there? Because certainly there had to be qualified women.
Well, if you're bragging, you're able to talk about what you want to do, and that's I guess bragging.
Did you know men? We won't name them, but did you know men? Unless you want to. Did you know men who you ran against or were just in the political arena who were braggadocious but didn't really have the goods to back it up?
Well, I ran against. I defeated 16 men, and I think I did my number on all of those. Yeah.
But they felt they were better than you.
Oh heavens! They thought they were going to beat me. Every one of them thought they were going to beat me. Yeah.
And in the end,
yeah, they didn't.
Didn't work out that way for them. No, and when you ran for state treasurer, I think the first opponent there was
Bucky Reinhardt.
Yeah. So would you call him a little braggadocious?
Oh, I would say so.
He was a little braggadocious, and he didn't.
He had a lot of nerve, I'll tell you.
Had a lot of nerve. Now, do you feel you could have said the things that he said at that time or were saying?
No, I did not want to act like him. No, not at all.
Matt, what do you think? Women have a harder time than men? Or men have a harder time than women? Why does women have a harder time than men? I was right the first time.
Bragging?
Yeah, bragging.
I'm anxious to hear this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah.
This comes from the 22-year-old perspective.
I really don't know. I mean, I've never. I mean, I don't. There's not much bragging going on. I guess. I mean,
Really?
Donald Trump does a lot of bragging. I mean, like the politicians love to brag. I mean, that's kind of their whole game.
But like people in your life,
I mean,
like the women versus the men. Do the women have a harder time saying they're great, they look nice, blah, 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 versus the men?
Oh, no, that sounds like my sister.
So you think your sister brags more?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, well, the women brag more here.
Well, just her, you see. Just
her. You're gonna
her.
promise Thanksgiving. I'm telling you, the holidays are coming up.
Is your sister younger or older?
She's younger than I am.
Is she? Oh, okay.
Well, see, you're a middle child, right?
Oh, gonna go back to the whole middle child syndrome.
Your mother has told me you have the middle child syndrome. Okay. And I think it's kicking in here during this episode of the program. Jazz, what do you think? Harder for women than men to brag?
Is it harder? Here goes Jazz, way off the scale here. No. I don't think. I think women brag. I think with this subject, it's all relative. So I mean, have we all not heard at Christmas about the dish that was made, or my son is this, or my daughter is this? Women brag. There's no question about it, and they brag quite easily. Now, when you're talking about bragging about themselves, I'll give a short answer and wrap it up by saying I think maybe women have a little more tact than men, and I come from the fight game. That's what they do. You have to have the gift of the fighters. That's part of the story that they do. They speak of themselves. But I think women have historically and just part of their genetic makeup. They have a little bit more tact when it comes to whether or not or how extreme they brag about themselves personally.
Well, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting subject because I have always felt that...
how do you feel?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I think that I have always noticed in Marion, for example, we'll go right here, there were never as many women involved in broadcasting as men. Mm-hmm. And the reason always given was that a woman's voice is not authoritative. That they don't want to get the news. You don't want to get the news from a woman because it won't sound authoritative. And how long did it take to get a woman to anchor the evening news on television? It took a long, long time. And it was a big deal when that happened. And the first one was not a success, Barbara Walters. She did not succeed as the anchor of the evening news. And the man, it's very well documented, did not want her there and felt sharing the desk with a woman was beneath him. So, I've never heard a woman say sharing the desk with a man was beneath her. So, I think women probably do have a more difficult time. I think there's something to that.
They also had a lot of trouble in the banks. The banks would not promote women. Women didn't try for the top jobs. because they didn't have the nerve to do it.
Well, Matt told the story. It's one of the famous stories now of your career. When you were running for county treasurer, the man running against you used it against you, said you couldn't open the vault. That's why you couldn't be elected county treasurer.
Yeah.
Now, that's pretty braggadocious.
Yes, it is. Yeah, well, they always thought up something that they thought would irritate me.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, isn't there stories going, maybe it's gotten better, but certainly you couldn't get a credit card in your own name.
No.
I mean, this is things women went through that I don't think men have ever had to go through in this country. So it probably did make them a little more.
Well, I will say this. I was guilty not that long ago in this, when you brought up broadcasting, and I will turn that to that point on sports. I remember when the commentation and broadcasting, they were introducing, now they have female referees in football and a lot of sideline and broadcasters and with football and fighting. And I remember early on being, it's different. I don't know how she's relating to this game. I don't know how she's relating to the sport. And I was kind of had that stance, you know. I was guilty of that. But now I stand in awe of those reporters and the homework and their ability of what they do. I on a regular basis, I'm an NFL fan. I watch college football and it's fights as well. And when I see what the women are doing in that field now today, I couldn't do that. And I acknowledge that. I'm like, that girl had, that woman, that female has did the work to put herself on a level that she more than deserves to be there.
Well, it's interesting. Last Friday, I had a former WNBA coach in, and he was talking about Caitlin Clark and her huge success in basketball and how it's raised the game for the WNBA and the ratings, but was also talking about when he was a coach in the WNBA, that it wasn't that way, that it was a progression, that the men's NBA, the regular NBA, it was just a given. You know, you were going to be on television, it was going to be packed, and it was going to be money, and it was going to be good. Yeah. The WNBA was not that way until Caitlin Clark, and even now, that she gets all the attention makes a lot of people in the WNBA very angry. And I don't think she's braggadocious, but people just don't like that she gets the attention. The men don't like that she gets the attention. Well, it's because she's bringing in the money. That's why she's getting the attention. So why such a problem there? And we also, I saw Larry Barnett, the famous umpire. He was in here last week.
Oh,
and
was he?
He was. I love seeing Larry.
Yeah.
Larry's one of the most entertaining guys you want to be around. And Larry, I was thinking about him as a baseball umpire. He was talking about when he made the call in the 1975 World Series that got him death threats and protected by, that was a call against Boston. Yeah. You remember that, don't you, Mary Ellen?
I do,
Larry.
yes.
He had to have 4 guards around him.
Really?
He says he kept the letters of the death threats.
Yes.
And he mentioned it, so I'm not talking out of school here. They were going to shoot his daughter in the mouth. They were going to shoot his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, it all. But he still says it was the right call. He still says that to this day. But I think, when's the last time you saw a female baseball umpire? It's rare.
Yeah, probably.
Now, I'm sure they could do it. It's not a physical job. It's just balls and strikes and outs. I don't know. I think there is a different thing. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I mean, I know that, like, there are... I know there's at least one female ref in the NFL, maybe 2. I don't know as far as that goes. I mean, I know that most of the coaching staff. I don't know anything about any other sport besides football. Really, I'll be 100% honest with you. But I know that most of the coaching staff in the NFL tends to be men, with the exception of trainers. The athletic trainers a lot of the times are women. I mean, I think the only sport that I know of in which is bigger than the women's sport is bigger than the men's is international soccer, and I'm pretty sure the women's beats the men's. But I mean, I certainly think that they have. I certainly think the women have the sports side rougher just because of the way that the men have the men's sports has kind of monopolized the television there.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you have said you're I mean, are you a fan of Travis Kelce or not? I can never really tell.
I like Travis Kelce.
You liked him when he played football.
Yeah, I like him as a football player.
You don't like him as a background dancer.
No.
Right. But now you don't like him so much because you feel that he's been put in the shadow
Well, no,
of
I
his
think
fiance.
I think it's more just that his priority. Like, he used to be the best tight end in the NFL, and now all of a sudden he's dating Taylor Swift and doing all kinds of dances and backup things and moving up and down the aisles at Taylor Swift concerts, and now he's playing the worst football of his career. I just don't see that being a coincidence.
Well, he's got a good second job though.
He's been around a while.
Yeah, he's got.
Well, yeah,
It's hard to maintain that level.
Yeah.
I
He's getting old.
Yeah, he's getting on.
But,
Moving on in time.
but, like, you know...
Now, see, Mary Ellen, do you like it when he's dancing out there?
Oh, he can do whatever he wants.
Right, I think that's fine.
Yes, if he wants to dance, let him dance.
And she had to ask him, I'm sure. I'm sure he wasn't jumping up and down.
Yeah.
So what's he going to say? No?
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be allowed to dance. I just think that he should also
he doesn't
put some...
like it as much.
I think he should
You
just
don't
also...
like it.
He should just... Well, I honestly haven't paid attention to it. I just know it happens. And
But
like
you
I
think
said,
that's what's hurting his career?
the last two... I just think that it's...
His career's hurting?
I didn't.
Well,
know
I
that.
mean...
No, I didn't.
His stats are faltering.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
like... So
But his
he-
career's
But you know
great.
what? I'll tell
Him
you
and
this.
Taylor Swift have been dating the last 2 years, and over the last 2 years, his stats have gone down. Now, he is older, I will give you that. He is, I mean, in the NFL, there's younger and faster people who come in every year, and you just can't keep up forever. It's just,
and
it's that way.
The season is early.
Man.
Man.
Early, it's like 7 weeks in.
Yeah, what are they? 2 and 3 and 4? What are they?
Oh, the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I think they're 5 and 2. Chiefs are doing pretty good.
No, I don't think they're 5 and 2.
Chiefs?
They had a losing record for the first 4 games.
That's crazy. Well, then they're probably
But-
3 and...
But man, you just December rolls around, man.
And he's in love.
Yes.
Oh, well, sure, why
Yes.
not?
I mean, that's what
I
it is.
think her new album is a little risque.
I just
though.
think...
It is a
Oh,
little
yes, there is
risque.
that.
Oh, yes.
She shouldn't have got so risque. She didn't need to.
No, I think that was that was a little problematic. Is I
Yeah.
think some of those songs are a little problematic.
Yeah.
You know, and I heard. I'll tell you. Now this is interesting. I ran into a 17-year-old girl, high school girl, who I knew was a Taylor Swift fan, and I said, "Hey, what do you think of the new album?" And this came from a 17-year-old girl. She said, "I don't like it because I feel that it makes certain things, risque things, very acceptable."
Yeah.
And this was coming
That's-
from the 17-year-old
That's right.
girl.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very interesting take.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean,
You don't agree?
No, Taylor Swift certainly didn't start that. I mean,
Well, she
Yes,
didn't-
she did. She
You know
it's
what I mean?
her
Singers-
album.
It's her out. She didn't
She
start the
shows
genre.
the pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as you know what I mean, if she's done enough in her career, you know what I mean. If that's where she feels she's at, I mean, singers and back Marilyn Monroe, and that's just. I think that's her choice. I mean, I've never bought a Taylor Swift album, but I respect what she does. She's like the biggest
Oh, she's very smart.
performer in the history of Earth.
Absolutely.
They've told me.
But have you seen some of the shots that she's?
I don't think I've seen the recent.
Well,
It's
then
just-
he can't.
He's got to
really-
take a look.
yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I've also grew up with Madonna, and
Yeah.
and it always seems to. I mean, I don't know what's led her there. I think maybe some of that fan base feels betrayed because she's represented a certain.
But
thing.
that's her shtick. See here, Madonna's shtick always was a little
okay.
bit
Yeah.
more
That's
risque.
fair. That's
Right.
fair.
And I think Taylor Swift's was never risque.
She
That's
switched.
right.
Okay.
Right, and I think that this may hurt her fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a mother might have trouble telling her 14-year-old daughter
Yeah.
what this is all about.
Nobody told me that we would be discussing Taylor Swift today.
You didn't imagine we were talking about that,
You
did
don't
you?
have any idea
Yeah,
who you're
we-
going to discuss
That's
Okay.
right. It
on
just-
this program.
I didn't
programs-
prepare for
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
want any
it's-
letters or emails.
I tell you, he brings up some dandies.
I get
Yes.
the Marion under 20 crowd saying, I don't like that guy, and I'm not watching
No,
movie.
no. Listen,
I
we
like
talked-
Taylor Swift as much as the next 50-year-old guy.
Taylor Swift is great and she's
Yeah.
smart. I just don't know if this is the best career move.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
But-
there's not many billionaires in the earth, on the earth, I suppose I should say. And for her to do it in the music industry, especially, even fewer in the
Yeah.
music industry. And as a woman, there's most billionaires tend to be men. So she's stacking up there.
Yeah, how
so
do we feel about those tickets? How much do they cost?
Oh.
$1 billion a piece, just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Mortgage your house to go to a Taylor Swift concert.
So
No, I'm not going. I know that.
I just think that to change up the strategy, she has had her entire career. That's made her one of the, if not the biggest artist in the world. Is not the best business move in my eyes. But
We'll see how it works.
honestly, I'm not Taylor Swift, so
I mean, she makes her own decisions.
Yep.
That's
She does.
fine.
there you go.
And we comment. We're a talk show.
I don't think she probably considers her fan base, but I don't think she's too concerned. I mean, once you get to that level in the stratosphere of where she's at, she's probably like, and I think
people
her
are gonna
loyal
listen to
fan
her
base
music
will be
no matter
fine.
what at this point.
Yeah, her
Maybe.
fan base. I don't. It's going to be hard to budge that fan base.
You know what the problem, I think, ultimately is, though, is that is there a lull in your career? I mean, there are a lot of people who have a lot of money, but I'm not sure it's about the money for a lot of people. I think they want a successful career. They want a career they can look back on and say, that was good. I'm proud of that. They don't want the scandal. They don't want the toxicity. It's very interesting. I just watched a show recently on Nixon. And, Richard Nixon, to this day, the man has been dead for 30 years at this point. But Richard Nixon, there are still people trying to rehabilitate the man and act as if what happened did not happen. Now, unfortunately for him, he recorded himself, so we know exactly what he said. But there are people who feel the government altered those tapes and they were out to get Nixon. And the man is long gone, but the reputation's there. The money is irrelevant to Richard Nixon now. He's gone. But it's the image. It's he was a president.
Legacy.
He wasn't disgraced. So I think that I'm not saying that Taylor Swift will be disgraced over this, but I think certainly a different tack
I think
than
that-
what she's had.
I think that Taylor Swift gets looked at in a different kind of light, though. Just she went to, I don't remember, it was some random football game. She went to a football game and she had a beer and she was drinking a beer and
That's right.
she got bashed all
She did.
over social media because she was caught on the camera on the the big screen drinking some kind of beer, and I was like, she's at a football game, like she's let her do her thing.
She's not driving, right?
No, and I think that's
She's
okay, right?
30s.
Yeah,
How
like-
old is she?
So it's just a different kind of thing, I guess, when you get that big. I think that she has
Everything
positioned
she
herself.
does
Yeah,
is
I mean,
under
she
the
positioned
microscope.
herself as a role model, I suppose.
Well, what's interesting? It certainly hurt Miley Cyrus. We'll say that.
Oh, yes.
Here she had a very kiddie image, and she did some things that were not so kid-like, and she had a career. She has a career, but it's not the greatest career. Lindsay Lohan also fell into this. I mean, where was Lindsay Lohan these
Didn't
days?
they both have mental breaks?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that probably leads you to some kind of mental
Well-
breakdown when your career's falling apart and you're in a bad way.
I guess.
I don't know. You know who's not in a mental breakdown? That's Jelly Roll.
Oh,
Jelly Roll has
man.
lost all this weight, 200 plus pounds, and that's all people can talk about when they see the guy now,
Yeah.
is
Right
all the
along.
weight he's lost. And his wife apparently is very unhappy about this because people are saying how good he looks.
She's
and
jealous now.
Well, no, she finds it offensive because she said, I liked him when he was big.
I
So-
liked him when he was big, too.
Well, I think, there you
Yeah.
go. Well, see, people liked him bigger.
He's a veggie spring roll now.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well,
He went from a jelly roll to a veggie or a sushi roll.
Well, his name's Jelly Roll, so I mean, it's kind of off now that he's not the big 400-pound guy that he was.
Yeah,
So
But he'll live longer.
he'll live long.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're happy he lost the weight, I think, but I mean, people are. That's all they can talk. His music has become secondary at this point in
I
time.
think that's how it happens sometimes.
That's America, man.
Who was it that we talked? Was it Oprah that we talked about the one time?
Well, Oprah's talked about this,
She-
that
yep.
people were constantly commenting on her weight throughout her
Oh,
career.
she had a terrible time.
Yeah, and she has said,
Yeah.
that to this day, that is the big problem of her life. It certainly wasn't money, certainly wasn't her show, certainly wasn't books she wrote or movies she was in.
Yeah.
It was her weight. That was
Right.
the big fight of her life.
Yeah.
So people care about what they care about, and it does, I think, bother these billionaires. because they don't want to be thought of that way. I mean, not to slip into the political here, but I mean, a lot of people have said that something that bothers the president right now is his image. You know, he doesn't like that he feels not in the certain crowds.
Well, yeah.
I think everybody wants to be in the certain crowd. Just like in school. Everybody wants to be in a certain crowd. Right, Jazz?
Yeah. There's many crowds, though. And then there's people that choose not to be in any crowd. So, it just depends on how you look at it.
Is Jelly Roll a big draw right now, if you put him in something?
I think so.
Yeah.
Outside of music?
Oh. I think he's recognizable outside of music.
He's recognizable.
Well, I don't know.
He's one of those figures that people, they relate to, you know what I mean? I think people look at Jelly Roll and listen to what he does and they say, you know what, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think people relate to him. I think it's a big thing with today with Michael Jackson and Prince and these legendary, their scale of their talent was just, you know what I mean? You could not relate to that. But with Jelly Roll, I think people relate to him, along with many other artists. And I think deep down, they talk to themselves and they say, you know what, I could do that. You know what I mean? I look as good as Jelly Roll. I could probably sound, you know what I mean? He's the way he did. So I think it's a relatable thing. And Jelly Roll is liked. My nephews like him. Young people like him. Middle-aged people like. He's a well-liked figure. You know.
Mary Ellen, do you think the weight will hurt him? Do you think people will fall off because he doesn't look a certain way? You know, I think Santa Claus. They like
They're jolly.
A bigger guy, yeah, jollier.
Well, I was used to looking at him big, and he doesn't look the same now. And I liked it better but I think it's good for him to lose weight.
Now, there have been a lot of people, though, who lost the weight, and when they lost the weight, it did hurt their careers.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't tell people how you're losing the weight, when you're not honest about it. Now, do we know how he's losing all this weight?
No, but I asked the sheriff how he was losing his weight, remember?
Yeah, the sheriff has lost some weight.
Yes, he was taking shots.
Oh, he's taking the shots
Yeah.
that go. Well, that's a whole new thing.
And I said, oh, well, good for you. Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's good for your health, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Matt, do you think it matters? I mean, I bring up Oprah again. When she lost a lot of weight one time, she wheeled the weight out on stage, and then they took the pictures of her, and then she gained the weight back, and that became the story. Mm-hmm. It just, people care.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really know why, but it would seem that way. And I think that the whole reason people don't like the way Jelly Roll is now is just because, like you mentioned, like the reason his name is Jelly Roll is I do believe he said his aunt called him Jelly Roll because he's always been a bigger kind of person.
That's right.
I think that when you think of Jelly Roll, like the image I have of Jelly Roll in my head is 200 pounds heavier than he is now. I haven't seen him since he lost 200 pounds. So if I saw him now, I'd be like, well, that's not quite Jelly Roll.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. How important is image, Jazz, do you think? I mean, the way you look, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, different than maybe you are in private.
Oh, image is everything. That's why we're having the conversation. I mean, Jelly Roll. Would we be having this conversation if his name was Paul Jones? I think the name has a lot to do with it. I think they've grown to that's what it is the name. But my question is I don't even know, is Oprah thinner or is she bigger now?
She's looked thinner.
She's thinner now.
She's found the answer, I think, to what her problem was.
But she's it's older. When you get older, I think.
Well, she looks good.
Well, I think she's taking some.
She spoke at the Democratic convention. She looked really good. And I think she's got herself under control. Yeah.
I think she might be taking something as well. I'm not sure.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
Everybody that's doing very well is taking shots.
Yeah, well, that is an interesting thing in society nowadays, that you people are losing massive amounts of weight, and now people will ask you,
Well-
are you on Ozempic?
Funny fact, now that I actually think about it, I used to weigh about 110 pounds heavier than I do now.
You did?
Yeah,
Wow.
I used to be...
I didn't know you
Yeah.
then.
Were you taking Ozempic?
Were
No,
you,
Ozempic
how
wasn't
old-
around at the time.
Okay.
I actually had surgery on my leg, and they gave me Eliquis, which they said might like temper my appetite, and I
And it did?
and apparently it did. I mean, I didn't recognize I was eating anything. I didn't recognize that I was eating any less, but the weight was just falling off, and
But is this good? That's the question. Are all these drugs good as time goes along? I remember Eliquis. We had somebody here at the station who was taking Eliquis not to have a stroke. And they're no longer with us. So, I know. That's kind of a bleak note. I don't think it was because of the Eliquis that I'm aware of, but,
I think
you know.
that I think if you're using it to lose weight, it might be different because they're not necessarily weight loss drugs. They are drugs that cause weight loss. They're supposed to be for other things. So if you're taking it for weight loss, I don't know what that could do. I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
An elephant on his shirt.
It does have an elephant shirt.
I'm upset about it.
She's upset about the elephant. I can see that now. That's right. Well, now see, thank goodness we're at the end of the episode because it could get rough here. But I should admit, he was an older man. The man who's no, it could have been age for all I know. I don't know if it had anything to do with the Eliquis or not, but he did talk about that a lot. Well, this has been a very interesting episode. Jazz, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've had a good time.
Thank you guys for having me very much. I've had a great time. It was very fun to sit down with all that. I appreciate every one of you, and I really enjoyed being here. Make sure you go watch the movie, Ohio, Thy Will Be Done, Amazon Prime, and Google Play and YouTube. And remember, it's not just about me and promoting my project. It's about good people that came together, sacrificed, and did something good.
And we're done for this week. We're heading for the dugout.